Hello YouTube, my name is Stokle. I am a former bodybuilder, aspiring triathlete, I am a personal trainer, and last but not least I'm an individual who likes to help improve people's lives through health and mental health alongside physical health, so health and well-being. Welcome to the channel and thank you very much for watching. Today I'm going to try and give you some brief clips about just a little bit about who I am, what I'm about, a bit about my past, my history, and where I'd like to go with the channel, and any feedback would be greatly appreciated. So pay attention, sit in for the ride. I think if you can understand a bit about me, then you'll understand where I come from in a lot of my posts and where I want to go working with clients and how I want to help you change your life. So as far back as I can remember, I've always been interested in sport. Sport has been my thing, physical activity, whether it be climbing trees, playing football, playing cricket. Sport has just been there, movement, physicality. And that's also been coupled with a real desire to win, a high level of competitiveness, and a desire to be the best at that one task that I've chosen to do. Now that's been my downfall many times, as well as it's been a good trait, and that's something hopefully that you'll come on to learn about yourself and about me as well. So that's where I kind of come from as far back as I can remember, is I've always loved sport, always loved it. I tried every opportunity, so to represent the school, the city, the county, at whatever level I could, I tried to do it, and I wholeheartedly put everything into it, everything. And I didn't want to, I couldn't help it. I had this in a desire, in a will to want to push, to want to be the best. I would get mocked at school for how serious I would take things, and I couldn't help it. I didn't want to take it seriously, but when it came to that action, or when it came to that performance, I just flicked a switch and I became serious, and I wanted to win. And that seriousness to win now in adult life, I'm really grateful for. I just now need to learn how to channel it. But as a youngster, yeah, sport was me. Academic, I was okay. Academia, I was alright, nothing great. But sport was my main thing. I just wanted to be a professional athlete. Genetically, when it came to football, I was never the greatest. I was an okay footballer. I wasn't a particularly great footballer. Although I always tried to make up for that through hard work. And what I found at a very early age is I placed far too much pressure upon myself, and that didn't work for me very well. I was doing okay, and I wanted to go to that next stage, which would have been playing for a football club at academy level. And I think a lot of my downfall was that I used to make mistakes or do silly things because of the pressure I was placing upon myself, rather than just enjoying the activity of playing football. I took a lot of the enjoyment out of it. No one else did but me, by taking it far too seriously. And I wasn't mature enough, old enough, or had the skills to balance that, to try and channel that seriousness into other avenues or use coping mechanisms or coping techniques. So that's how I kind of failed at football, and I became quite disheartened at the age of 16, and I really started to fall into the gym. Coupled with that, when I was at school, I was studying sports science, ages 15 and 16, with a view to go on to study it at age 17 and 18 and then move on to university. So getting into the gym alongside the studying, they fell hand in hand and they complement each other very much. So I was going through school, I started to get really into weight training. Now people that are watching this that know me, I know I used to be a competitive bodybuilder, a former junior British champion and so on, and again Mr. Serious really took over, and I became enthralled into bodybuilding and I gave everything to it. I don't call it a sport because I don't believe it's a sport. Bodybuilding is an art or a physical exercise that requires everything. You won't be successful if you don't give everything. So along with my studies, I was becoming really heavily involved in bodybuilding. And to be fair, what I was learning was also helping my performance in the gym and with nutrition. So it worked really well. And as I got to 18, I was quite a big boy. I carried a lot of muscle mass. And then I got a point where I thought, okay, I'm ready to take this a little bit further and become a competitive bodybuilder and compete in my first amateur show. Those in the gym around me were encouraging it. and I'd started to take some steroids. So by this point you've got this Mr. Serious who's so devoted to something, and someone said, hey, take these are going to help you get even better. Many professional athletes will relate to that, I'm sure, but wanting to be better, and amateur athletes as well. So that was something that I decided to take naively. Yes. Do I regret it? Yes. Can't do anything about it? No. So that's the hand that I played. So I started taking steroids when I was 18, and I looked to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I finished school, I went on to university, and continued to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and everything in my life became devoted to bodybuilding. Here is when I kind of met a crossroads. I stopped drinking alcohol, stopped going to nightclubs, I stopped doing various other things, social activities with my friends. First, because to be fair, even now, I'm 26, I don't enjoy that. But at the time, it narrowed my social circle down a lot. I narrowed myself into one bracket of, oh, I'm just a bodybuilder. Even though I might have came across as having high self-confidence, in fact, I had very low self-confidence. I wasn't very proud of what I was doing. I wasn't really proud of who I am. But I did want to be the best bodybuilder I could be. That's something that I can't deny. I had this inner desire to really push it. So take more steroids, become more involved in bodybuilding. When I was 19, I won my first bodybuilding show, and then that kind of just gave me the buzz and the enthusiasm and the publicity in the bodybuilding world to go forward and to keep on getting bigger and better. So while at university, a few things happened. I really struggled to get involved in the course. It was sport and exercise science, so that was using science to improve sport and performance. I became quite frustrated. It wasn't really something that I didn't really want to work with elite athletes. I wanted to be one myself, but I didn't want to work with them. There's quite a lot of psyche in there, but that was where I was at with that. So after my first year, I started my second, and I realised this wasn't for me. It wasn't going to give me the career I wanted to gain. I didn't know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do, but I knew it didn't have anything to do with the degree per se. So I left university and I became a personal trainer. Within 3 to 6 months, I was fully booked, which was fantastic. I built a really good client base and started to develop some great relationships with people. And it also fitted in with my lifestyle of bodybuilding. I could train when I wanted to train, I could eat when I wanted to eat. So the two kind of fell hand in hand, and additionally the publicity from the bodybuilding allowed me to gain clients and recognition and acknowledgement outside the bodybuilding world. When you see this young guy who's 18, 19 stone, big guy, you bring attention to yourself, and people say, oh, he must know what he's doing, he's a big guy, I want to train with him. And I've got quite an outgoing personality, so I was easy to get along with and talk to. So I developed some good relationships with clients and really fell into personal training that way. So a few years went by, more and more heavily involved in bodybuilding, more and more steroids, growth hormones started to come into it, a little bit of insulin use started to come into it. So this time I'm very, very seriously involved in bodybuilding. I've had a few operations, I've had a few injuries and things, but at 21 I go on to win the Junior British Championships. It was 23 and under, and I turned 21 a couple of days before that. So that was a huge achievement. I beat some outstanding bodybuilders who are now bodybuilding still and doing very well. So I was very proud of that moment. But again, that was possibly the worst thing that could have happened to me, because it again propelled me more into bodybuilding. So I did that for another couple of years alongside the PT business going nicely. Everything complemented each other. I found the more successful I was in bodybuilding, the more unsuccessful I was in my personal life. This is just as Jack, not as anybody else. Other people might be able to manage it fine, but I couldn't manage it. Again, I put too much pressure upon myself, and additionally I neglected family time and social time, and I neglected values that I hold really close to me. Things that I hold dearly, such as just sitting down with people and investing time into them, seeing the world, traveling, meeting other people, helping other people, being selfless. Are traits that I feel that are part of my personality, and I wasn't fulfilling them, and I didn't have any sense of fulfillment. Although I was becoming this great bodybuilder, that was it. There wasn't anything more to me. And thankfully I matured and I realised there's so much more to life and there's so much more out there. That I got to about 23, I'd had some more injuries, and I'd had some failed relationships and all this other thing. Like, this is a long story short. And I realised, right, okay, this isn't for me, I need to stop. And something just flicked. in my head, and I realised what my calling was, per se. I realised who I wanted to be and who I am were two very different things. I wanted to be the guy that I felt I was, the kind, the nice, the caring, sociable, outgoing, and the guy who is healthy. Bodybuilding isn't healthy, mentally or physically. It's not a healthy game. There's no balance involved in bodybuilding, and I believe balance is key. So I started to read a lot more about psychology and understand a lot of aspects to it, and I really understood where I wanted to take the business. So I didn't want to just be a personal trainer. I want to be a health and fitness coach. I want to combine health with fitness in order to help change people's lives. But in order to do that, I had to change my own first. So I read some more and I transitioned slowly. I started to do more cardio. I got back to playing football again, which I hadn't played for in years. That gave me a great sense of fulfillment. And I played with family members again, so it kind of came in with my core values. I spent some time just by myself and reflecting upon myself and really getting to know me and looking at myself in a hard manner, and I had to address some issues of mine. One of them was steroids. I had to stop them, so 23, I stopped all steroids. And another thing I had to address was my outlook and fulfilling my potential. I realised that my business was great, but it was capped, and now I've learned so much, and through my own struggles and through clients' own struggles, that now I feel I'm in a really good position to help you change your life and you change your direction. I've struggled physically, I've struggled mentally, and I've been through several battles. I may not have battled with obesity, I may not have battled with depression, but I have battled with my personality and psychological addictions. So I can relate to a lot of things that you may be feeling at times. So that was where I am then. Then I came into 24, 25, and I started to get a lot fitter and a lot healthier. And at the turn of 2017, I decided to commit to a triathlon the following year in 2018. Now, again, this obsessive compulsive Mr. Serious comes into play. However, through the experiences and my struggles, I've learned how to manage this and cope with this a lot more. So I now know when that I'm just going to have to miss a gym session. I need to spend some time with my partner, or I need to spend some time with some family, or I need to devote times to work. For example, this here right now. 2 years ago, I wouldn't be doing this video. I wouldn't have regarded it as important. I would say, great, I've got 2 hours spare, let's hit the gym, or let's hit this, or whatever. But in reality, that's not going to get me where I want to be. So I've learned a lot through that. So now, where I am is I have my first child on the way. I have a lovely partner. I have a great business that I'm looking to expand, and hence why I'm doing this video. I've looked to launch my social media platforms. I'm looking to get you to think about yourself and kind of give you the nudge that you need to start reflecting upon your own actions and your own behaviour to help you change. And there's many things that are going to come into that. I think a great way to do it is through exercise. I believe exercise and health go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. I think they kind of they put you in harmony. So if you're super fit but struggling mentally, it doesn't work. And if you're struggling mentally and are super fit, it doesn't work either. So you could be super fit and still be upset in the mind, or you could be really good in the mind and be unhealthy in the body. I think you need the two together to really feel as one. And there's various reasons for that, which hopefully in future videos we're going to come on to and talk about. So yeah, that's kind of a really, well, not brief, but roundabout way of where I've come from and where I am now. Missing out on various things along the way, but I hope that gives you a bit more insight into who I am and the struggles that I've faced, and that you can identify a little bit with me. So with that identification process, I hope that you understand that I'm not just this guy who's always had a six-pack, or is only concerned about muscles, or is only concerned about his clients. That's not true. I really do want to try and give back and use my experiences to help a lot of people. So hopefully you're going to watch these videos. Some of them are going to be physical in the gym exercises, gym execution, making sure technique's on point. Others are just going to be me talking about various aspects of psychology and eating and nutrition and how you can combine the two together. So I'd really appreciate if you could follow along. And any questions, I'll have my information and things in the description. So hopefully you can get in touch or follow me on social media. It's a lot more exciting than this. I know it's quite boring, just in the classroom surroundings, but I wanted you to be able to identify with me. So by doing that, I've just explained a little bit about my past and where I am. So I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you very much for watching, and look out for the next videos. Take it easy.